Hello everyone, I am Sunil. I welcome you back to my YouTube channel Tech Basics. So today we'll try to write some programs wherein we'll try to perform some arithmetic operations. In the last class we have seen how to declare the variables, how to make use of printf and scanf statement, that is your output and input statement in C language. Today we'll try to add up some arithmetic operations to the existing program that we have done. So let's go with example 3 over here, wherein the statement says Raj goes to the market and purchases 3 kgs of apples, wherein the cost of each kg is 110. Shopkeeper has provided a discount of 5% because he has purchased 3 kgs of rice. What is the gross amount? And also find the net amount Raj has to pay. So how we are going to do this? So you can declare over here the item name as character, and then the rate quantity you can declare it as float along with the bill and discount. Rate we need to declare it as float because it can be rupees and paisa. Quantity can be something like 1 kg, 1.5 kg and so on. So in that case bill and discount has to be float. So then you can give a message to the user saying enter item name, rate, comma, quantity. And then you can say scanf, %s, %f, %f, ampersand, not ampersand for the name, only for rate and quantity you will write ampersand. Once you accept the name, rate, quantity, you can calculate the bill, which is rate multiplied by quantity purchase. Once you do this, then you can calculate the discount. Discount is 5% on the bill. So you can write it as bill into 0.05, which is 5 by 100. So whatever you calculate, you try to display. Now you can say over here, the name equals to %s, bill equals to %f, and your discount equals to %f. Then you display there item name, your bill value and the discount value. So what is that we are trying to do here? We are trying to accept the values of the variable called rate quantity along with the name. You are calculating the bill, which is rate multiplied by quantity, discount as 5% of the bill, and then whatever you calculate, try to display that. Execute this. You can enter the name as apple, rate as 110 and your quantity as 3. Then you will get the discount as 16.5 rupees because we have taken it as 5% of the bill. Now what is that net amount Raj has to pay? So how do you calculate? So for that you need to calculate the net bill. So you can say net bill equals to the bill minus the discount. Whenever you make use of any variable over here, that variable has to be declared. So you can declare here net bill also as float. And then you can write over here net bill equals to %f, and then you can say comma and b. Now try to execute the program. You can say apple, you can enter the rate 110, quantity as 3, and then you will get the bill as 330, discount 16.5, and the net bill that the Raj has to pay is 313.5 and so on. So this is how you can calculate, and then you can display the calculated values. Then we'll try to go with example 5, wherein you want to calculate the salaries of the employees. So go with the statement, Raj wants to calculate the total amount of salary paid to the employee. So he decides to accept the data like employee number, name, basic salary and wants to calculate the gross salary. So the formulas are given in this fashion, wherein you will say gross salary will be equal to the basic salary plus whatever allowances we calculate. So allowances basically will be part of some gross salary. In the similar way, net salary will be equal to the gross salary that we calculated minus the deductions. So every employee will get some allowances, like say traveling allowance, house rent allowance, and every employee will have some amount of deductions which will be treated as the savings of an employee. So let's try to code this particular program. Go with your online software and then try to perform this. So what is that you do then? You declare now employee number as character, employee name also as character, and then try to declare the basic salary, allowances and the deduction followed by the gross salary and the net salary as float value. So wherever you feel you will work with fractional values, you declare it as float, and wherever you feel you are going to work with characters and do not want to perform any arithmetic operation, you can always declare it as the character value. Now once you declare this, you want to accept these values, so better you provide a message to the user so that he understands what to enter. So you say enter employee number, name along with the basic salary. You can make use of escape sequence \n, and then you can say scanf %s because number and name, they are group of characters, and then basic salary is float, so %f. Then you write there ENO, ename, BAS. So here you are going to use the variable names that you have declared over here, followed by semicolon. Now you try to calculate allowances. Allowances, as it is not mentioned, you can take as 20% of the basic salary. So which I'll write it as basic into 0.2, which is 20%. Similarly, deductions, I'll take it as 10% of the basic salary, which is basic into 0.1. Now once I calculate the allowances and the deductions, I have just taken some percentage of the basic salary as it is not mentioned. Then you calculate the gross salary. Gross salary will be equal to the basic salary plus all the allowances that we calculated. Net salary will be equal to your gross salary minus the deductions that we calculated. So after you calculate, display all the things that we have calculated. So you can say employee number equals to %s, employee name equals to %s, and then you say gross salary equals to %f. You can say net salary equals to %f, comma, you can mention employee number, employee name, gross salary, net salary. If you want, you can as well display allowances and deductions that we have calculated. So once you do this, try to execute the program. So you got some error over here. That is because we have not written ampersand for basic, because basic is float. When you accept this float value, you are supposed to write ampersand. Now you can enter some number over there, you can enter some name over there, and then you can try to enter some basic salary. So I'll take the basic salary as 10,000, which means your allowance will be 2,000 and the deduction will be 1,000. So the gross salary happens to be 10 plus 2,000, that is 12,000 minus 1,000 will be your net salary. So you can see over here, gross salary is 12,000 and net salary is equal to 11,000. So this is how you will calculate and display the values. If you want, you can as well display over here, as I said, whatever allowances you have calculated, try to display that, and then you can also display the deductions that we have calculated, so try to do that. And then you can mention over here allowances, comma, deductions, and so on. Now try to execute the program. You can enter some number, you can enter some name over there, and then you can enter some basic salary. Then you will see that the number is displayed, name is displayed, allowances is 2,000, deductions is 1,000, your gross is your basic plus the allowance, and the net is minus the deductions, which is 1,000. So it is going to be 11,000. So this is how we can write a program to calculate the salary. So what is it we are trying to understand in this program is, how do I declare the variables? How do I make use of input and output statements? Where to write ampersand and where not to write this? And then how do I perform some calculations? And then how do I go for displaying of the results and so on like. So this is what we try to understand from this particular program. We'll go with the next then. We'll try to discuss the next concept now, wherein we will try to declare the variables, make use of input and output statement, but apart from that, you also want to perform or you want to go with making of decisions in a program. So we'll try to understand what is decision making statement, and the statement in your C language is if else statement. So basically we are going to understand what is if and else statement. So why this particular statement is to be used and so on. So we make use of if and else statement in order to make decisions in the program. So when we say decision, it means if suppose say you want to check whether the student has passed the examination or not, so you can make use of if else statement. You want to check whether the person is married or unmarried, so you can make use of if else statement. You want to calculate the discounts on the bill, then you can make use of if and else statement. You want to check whether the person is eligible to vote or not, then you can make use of if and else statement. So whenever you want to make any decision in a program, and based on the decision, if you want to perform some operation, then you can make use of this statement called if else statement. So the syntax of this statement goes in this way. So you will write it as, syntax is to say grammar, the way you need to write that particular statement. So you are supposed to write it in this fashion. If within the bracket you are supposed to specify the condition. So when I say condition, you can write over here student pass or fail. So you will say whether the marks of the student greater than 35, less than 35. So that is what you need to mention over here. And if the condition that you specify over here is satisfied, then it will execute the statement below that called statement 1. But if the condition that you specify over here is not true, then it will go for the else part, and then it will try to execute the statement called statement 2. Okay, so statement 1 will execute when the condition mentioned over here is true, and statement 2 will execute when the condition mentioned over here is false. So when you talk about writing a condition over here, you can make use of relational and logical operators that are available in C language or that are supported by C language. When I say relational operators, we mean greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, and equal to. These are called relational operators. So when you write equal to, you are supposed to write it as equal to, equal to. If you write it only for one time, it becomes another operator, what we call it as assignment operator. So when you want to compare the value, we are supposed to make use of equal to in this fashion. And then you can as well make use of logical operators. So logical operators are something like ampersand, that is and operator, pipe symbol, that is to say or, exclamation mark, that is to say not. So what exactly and how exactly these logical operators are used? Let's try to understand them in detail. So if you go by this example, logical AND. So this particular operator we make use of whenever you want to check two conditions, and the result of that is true when both the conditions are true. So what it means for us? So if you take an example over here, if the value of A is 400, value of B is 200, value of C is 150, then if you write something like this, if A greater than B joined with and B greater than C. So that means you are mentioning here two conditions with the help of an operator called AND. So the result of this will be true only when both the conditions are true. So in our case, A happens to be 400, definitely greater than 200. B happens to be 200, definitely greater than 150. So both the conditions are true. So the result of this is going to be true. In our second case, A is 400, B is 200, but C is 450. So what happens now? The first condition, A greater than B is true, but B greater than C is not true. So if one condition is false, then the result of this is going to be false. So how the statement will execute? It will first check for the first condition. If the first condition is true, only then it will check for the second. But if the first condition is false, it is not going to check for the second condition, because in a logical AND you are supposed to satisfy both. And in the last one, if you see A is equal to 400, B is 200, C is equal to 200, then in this case, A greater than B is false, B greater than C is also false, because B and C values are equal. A greater than B, A is 400, B is 200. So the first condition is true there. But the second condition, where B value and C value both are 200 and they are not greater, B is not greater than C, but they are equal to C, so it is false, and the result of this is going to be false. So what we are trying to say over here, whenever you make use of AND operator, it will be giving you the result as true only when the conditions that you mention are true. Both the conditions are true, otherwise it is going to give you the result as false. The same way, if you go with the logical OR, this will execute, and this is normally used when you want to execute or check two conditions, and the result of this will be true when either of the condition is true or both. So take an example, A greater than B or B greater than C. So A is definitely greater than B. So when the first condition is true, now it will not go for the second condition. It will not check the second condition, because if one condition is true, the result is going to be true. And then in this case, A is greater than B again, so it will not check for the next one whether it is true or false. Even if it is false, the result is going to be true. And in the third case, if you see over there, A is 40, B is 200, and the value of C is equal to 900. So A is greater than B. So here A is 40, B is 200. So it is not true. When it is not true, it will go for checking of the next condition. So then it will check B greater than C. B is 200, C is 900. This is also not true. So both the conditions are false. So the result of this is going to be false. Then you will go with NOT operator. So NOT is just to negate or reverse the condition. So it is basically used in this fashion. If not married, this means you want to check whether the person is unmarried. So instead of I saying unmarried, I will say if not married. So that is how you can make use of the operator called NOT. If not pass is to say if failed. So instead of writing fail, I can say if not pass, and so on. So let's try to write some programs using the concept of if and else statement, otherwise you call it as decision making statement. Example over here says, the government decides to check the number of persons who are eligible to vote in the coming elections. So accept the data for that and display whether the person is eligible or not. So what is that we want to do over here? You just want to find out who is eligible and who is not eligible to vote. So that can be done on the basis of the age of the person. So how do we write this particular program? Go with your software and then online software compiler and then try to code this. So if you want, you can accept the name of the person, which is character, and then age definitely has to be integer because it is going to be something like 17, 18, 20, 25 and so on. And then you try to accept these values. You can say enter name comma age, and then you can accept by saying scanf %s %b, and then you will say name, that is I've taken there as e name comma age. Age is integer, so I'll write it as ampersand integer. Once you accept the data, now you want to decide and you want to display the message eligible to vote or not eligible to vote. So that can be done on a basis of the age. So here you are going to make use of decision making statement. So you write like this: if age greater than equal to 18 years. So you don't have to say yes. If age greater than or equal to 18, then you can give a message to the user saying you are eligible to go for voting. You are eligible to vote. If this is not true, then you are going to give a message over there saying printf not eligible to vote. So what is that we are doing here? Whenever you want to make a decision, we have seen you are supposed to make use of if-else statement. So if the condition is true, it is going to display this particular message, and if it is not, it is going to display this particular message. Let's try to execute this code. So you enter the name and the age over there. So I'll enter the name and the age as say 20. Then it says you are eligible to vote. In the same way, if I say the name as Sunil and the age as say 15, then it is going to display you are not eligible to vote. That means what? Either the first statement will execute or the second, but not both at any point of time. If I now give the name as Sunil and the age as 18, just think over what should be the output. The output has to be eligible to vote because we have given over here greater than or equal to 18. So if this is true, it will display eligible to vote. So this is how you can declare the variables, accept the data, and then you can go for making use of your if and else statement over there. So which is if age greater than or equal to 18 and so on. So this is how you will make use of your decision making statement. We'll try to practice more. We'll try to go with the second example over here which is given, wherein you want to find again the discounts on the product, but now this time the discount is not constant. The discount is on the basis of the bill. So when you do some purchase and if your bill happens to be between 1 to 5,000 rupees, then the company wants to provide you a discount of 10% on the bill. And if your bill happens to be greater than 5,000 rupees, the company wants to give you a more discount, that is 15%. So what is that we want to do? You want to accept the item number, name, rate, quantity. You want to find out the bill and the discount. So let's try to code this particular program. Go with your online software and then you declare here now. You want to accept the item number. So I'll take it as character. Item name, I'll take it as character because you don't have to perform any arithmetic operation with that. Rate, quantity, bill, and discount. You know this may be in rupees and paisa, rate can be rupees and paisa, quantity can be something like 1.5 and so on. So I'll take it as float. So when rate and quantity are declared as float, your bill happens to be float and discount. Now you give a message to the user over there saying printf enter item number, name, rate, and quantity. So you can make use of \n over here to come on to the next line, and then you say scanf, you say %s, %s, %f, and then you write over there item number. You can say there item name, comma, ampersand rate, comma, ampersand quantity. So accept this. So once you accept the data, then you calculate the bill. So your bill is rate that you have multiplied with the quantity the user purchased, and now you want to calculate the discount. So when you want to calculate the discount, we know that it is on the basis of the bill. So how do you write it? If the bill is going to be between 1 to 5,000. So whenever you say bill, it is definitely going to be at least 1 rupee. So what I'll do is I'll say if bill less than or equal to 5,000, which means what? I'm saying it is between 1 to 5,000. Then you can say discount equals to your bill multiplied by 0.1, that is 10%. Else you can say your discount is going to be bill multiplied by 0.15, which is 15%. So what we are trying to say over here, if your bill happens to be between 1 to 5,000, I don't have to write here 1 because when you say bill, it will be definitely at least 1 rupee. So if your bill happens to be 1 to 5,000, your discount is 10%. Otherwise, it is going to be 15%. Then you try to display whatever you calculated. So you specify over here your bill equals to %f, your discount equals to %f, and if you want, you can also display the name of the product. So you can say name equals to %s, and then you can write here comma. You can say item name, you can say bill, you can say discount. If you want, you can also display rate, quantity, everything over there, not a problem. Okay, once you do this, execute the program. You can enter some item number, you can enter some name over there. I'll just say keyboard I want to purchase, and the cost of that is say 1,000 rupees, and then the quantity I want to take is say 4. So now your bill happens to be 4,000, which is definitely less than 5,000. So in that case, your discount will be only 10%, which is 400 rupees. Let's do it again. You can enter some item number over there, and you can say keyboard again. You enter the rate as 1,000 and say quantity as 10. Now in this case, your bill is going to be 10,000. So you are going to get a bill as 15%, because what we said, if it is less than or equal to 5,000, it should go with 10%. Otherwise means else part, it will calculate with 15%, and you get the discount over there as 1,500 rupees. So this is how you are going to perform declaration, make use of input and output statement, perform some calculation, and then make use of your decision making statement in order to make the decision and display the value that you have calculated. Thank you. I'll stop this particular session here.